Hey everybody, I'm going to do a VR today for Clint over at Swing Away Sports Cards. Oh, what a VR. They're fun. Everybody do it. You have until the whole month to do it. So jump on it, do a little research. Here's the deal. What we're going to do is we're going to estimate or guess what we think is going to happen with the free agent picks in baseball right now. So Juan Soto's off the board. He was just signed. And the big one everybody's talking about is what is going to happen to Shohei Ohtani. There's lots of people going, please, please, please be my team. Please, please, please. But I'm not one of those guys. So I'm going to cut together some clips of me looking at the free agents and just talking off my head and giving you my feels, what my gut tells me. We're going to talk about some of the free agents, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about my Texas Rangers. Why my Texas Rangers? Because they're the best team in the world. The World Series champion Texas Rangers. They have won now. That is the beginning of a streak. So I'm looking forward to another 10, 12, 17 years of dominance, because not one ring, not two, not three, not four. That's right, LeBron. 100 rings. 100 rings in a row. When the Rangers are done with this streak, there will be the Rangers, and then they're actually going to create a relegation league where everybody else gets relegated down to Double-A baseball because the Rangers are so good. They won't even play them anymore. That's what's about to happen. That's what started last year. That's what's going to continue to happen. I'm sorry, people. I know you love your teams. Be a Rangers fan. It's okay. There's room on the bandwagon. I wouldn't blame you. They're amazing. Woo! All right, so here we go. Stay tuned. And then go check out Clint. Jump in on this VR. I will put a link in the description below. There will be a link to the actual video. Plus, you can just click on the little blue name down there in the description, and you can go straight to his page. Anyway, stay tuned. Here we go. Bye. So Jason Haywood is off of the board. If you were even paying attention, because I don't think most people were. I mean, the Cubs dropped him for a reason. He just is not what he was, 8 years ago or whatever. 34 years old, I think. Yeah, 34. They gave him $9 million for 1 year. I don't understand that move at all. Does Haywood make the Dodgers better? All right, so the Soto move is done. He was one of the big free agents everybody was paying attention to. Soto goes from San Diego to New York along with his buddy Trent Grisham. In return, San Diego will get pitchers, Michael King, Johnny Brito, Randy Vasquez, and Drew Thorpe. I really think they're just cutting payroll. So the Yankees like to spend money, and historically that is a way you can certainly buy a ring. Says the Texas Rangers fan who the Rangers spent a bunch of money a couple years ago. And hey, you know what? If they have to raise ticket prices every year, 10% or whatever, and you're pretty much guaranteeing a ring, or at least a deep push into the playoffs, I think most real fans are going to be okay with that. Speaking of the Yankees, they also picked up Alex Verdugo from Boston, which was interesting because those two teams don't trade a lot with each other. Blame it on the babe. I was really high on Verdugo when he first came into the league with the Dodgers. He didn't pan out in Boston, and I don't know. He doesn't have a big bat. He's okay in the field. He's okay on the bases if he can get on it. If he can get on, I don't know. I don't know if that makes the Yankees better. I think they're just taking a shot. I didn't see what his salary is, but they gave up some pitchers. I guess the Yankees farm system must be loaded with pitchers because they're giving them up left and right. So good for them. So the big question is where's Shohei going to go? He's going to get $500 million to go somewhere, and I joke that it would be awesome that if he came to the Rangers, but honestly, to spend that kind of money on somebody who is one of the most amazing baseball players I've ever seen, but got hurt last year because the Angels are a terrible organization. That's right, the Angels. No surprise that the Angels are terrible. Sorry, Brad. Facts are facts. They are an awful organization, and they broke them. So he's not going to pitch at least for another year. I am not convinced that the surgery won't impact his bat. I just think that is a lot of money to buy somebody who just coming out from underneath the knife. The Rangers do like to spend money. In fact, they have no problem doing it. They signed Max Scherzer and this one kid named Jacob deGrom. Sometimes I forget that he was a Ranger because he pitched 30 innings. That's 30 innings last year. Do you want to know how much the Rangers paid him to pitch 30 innings? $30 million. Now, I'm not good at math, but what I do know is that is not a good return on your investment. And I think whoever picks up Shohei is going to sell a lot of jerseys. They're going to get a lot of TV time, but that is going to be a lot of money wrapped up for a lot of years. On the long end, I think maybe they're going to try him out for a few years and try to dump him. As magical as he was in LA before they broke him, Anaheim before they broke him, the California Angels of Anaheim. I don't know. I'm worried about him because he's gone under the knife. Anyway, amazing though. So seems like most of the teams are kind of out of the running right now. It does look like he's probably going to go to the Giants, which will be the most exciting thing to happen in San Francisco since, I don't know, Willie McCovey got himself a cove. I don't know. I say that. Barry Bonds was pretty exciting to watch. And they had some good years. They really did. I went to that stadium a few years ago, and I thought it was going to be beautiful because everybody's always like, oh, San Francisco's so beautiful. It's amazing. It's wonderful. Everybody wants to go to San Francisco. Everybody's happy in San Francisco. I was really disappointed. It was pretty filthy. The homeless population, even then, before COVID, was pretty crazy. The stadium is beautiful. It's one of my favorite stadiums. When I go to outside new ballparks and outside my little home area, I like to get there early so I can walk around the whole ballpark and see what there is to see, smell what there is to smell. I know that sounds weird, but if you go to a ball game in Chicago, there's some good smells. So that kind of stuff. I really want to get the whole experience. I just don't want to go to sit in my seat and see the game. I want to see everything. And San Francisco. They know what they did. They built a really, really beautiful stadium. So I digress. Shohei Ohtani probably going to the I almost said the Rangers. Woo! I actually don't want that because I don't think it's going to play out well. And the Rangers are already flushing tens of millions of dollars down the toilet for people who aren't playing. So I think the Giants are ready to take that chance with somebody who is going to get greatest of all time, two-way player money, but is only going to play. Oh, I don't know. You know what? It wouldn't surprise me if he just ends up as a DH. Oh, I don't know. Worried about Shohei, but man, he was amazing. Absolutely amazing. What a run that guy had.
Oh, yeah. I forgot to mention, remember when the Angels had Shohei before they broke him and they had the opportunity to trade him to just about any team in Major League Baseball and completely milk them dry of their entire farm system and maybe even some of their stars, and chose not to because they just knew they were going to get into the playoffs and make a good run at the World Series. And then 1 week later, they're like, Mike Trout's hurt and we're not going to make it to the postseason. And then they broke Shohei because why not at that point? Because he's no longer going to be under contract, and they still wanted TV money. Terrible organization.
Speaking of the Angels being an awful franchise, they did move Ron Washington into the skipper role, and I will tell you right now that I think Ron Washington is awesome. I loved him. I loved him in Texas. Fans love him. Players love him. He's a baseball guy through and through. And he's got great sayings. He does great interviews. I have always really, really liked Ron. So kudos for the Angels for at least figuring that out. I did see that they signed Willie Calhoun to a minor league deal, which nobody cares about unless maybe you remember him as a Texas Ranger. I do. He actually wasn't here when Ron was. But he was a kid with a huge upside that never seemed to quite figure it out. So maybe Ron can fix him. But yeah, so kudos to the Angels for that. Cody Bellinger is interesting too. What a ball player. I'd love to have him in Texas, but I don't really think we have a good spot for him. We have a bunch of really good, young, talented players. Cody Bellinger is great. He's going to have a big price tag. I think he might end up in Chicago with the Cubbies. That's what I think. What do you think? Okay. So there's always at least one highly touted Japanese prospect, it seems like every year. And this year is Yoshinobu Yamamoto. I think I pronounced that right. Another pitcher. I think of Yu Darvish, who I loved then. I still love him. He got like 9 pitches. He's amazing. He had injuries. He had injury issues. A lot of times, the Japanese players will come over here, and they're just not conditioned for MLB. It's a lot of time on the road. It's a longer season, more games during the week. Their body's just not used to it. Think about all the kids that come up who get babied with pitch counts and things like that. That the old guys didn't do. Right? You get in there and you pitch 209 pitches. You do what you got to do to get through the game. But now they're all like, oh, you're at 102 pitches, you might be done. That is like on a season that is twice as long as the Japanese league. So I just think, you're not going to spend all that money and bring over the number one Japanese pitcher to your team and say, okay, I'm going to start you every 5-6 games, but I'm only going to let you pitch 80 pitches so we don't wear out your arm. That's not what you do. You spent too much money. You need a return on your investment. So these Japanese players are just ripping up their arms. So it's pretty much a guaranteed in my head that every Japanese pitcher that comes over will end up with Tommy John. But not, they're exciting. They're exciting because you didn't really watch them at all. So you don't see them grow up. You don't see them go through the AA or AAA or even playing college ball. So when they're coming over here, they're already fairly polished and they're really good. So it's instant gratification, right? You don't have to like invest the time and energy into actually watching them develop because they're already there. The injury concerns is just what always gets me. Anyway, Yamamoto is the big name this year, just like Ohtani was a couple years ago. I think Dice K was really good for a couple years until he got hurt. I don't know. Chan-Ho Park came to the Rangers. What a flop. Anyway, just like throwing money at these Japanese players. And I know it's weird because they don't get all of it. Like half of it has to go back to the other ball club. Anyway, I digress. Where do I think Yamamoto is going to go? Lots of people are saying Yankees and Mets. I think the Yankees are spending lots of money, and I don't know that they're going to want to spend even more money. And I don't know where they are in the luxury tax, but it's going to get there to pick up Yamamoto. The Mets, I think, are making a really hard run at it, but don't tell anybody. I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up in Boston. That's right. I don't know why. I get Dice K vibes. Boston likes to spend money too. They're freeing up some cap room. I think Boston. I don't know, Mark. What do you think about that one? What are they saying? Okay, can we talk about pitchers for a minute? I'm looking at the free agency list and just names that I find interesting. It's interesting that Shohei is listed as the top pitcher free agent, and we know he's not going to pitch at all next year. Aaron Nola signed with Philly for 7 years. Sonny Gray went to St. Louis on a 3-year deal. Kyle Gibson got a 1-year deal in St. Louis. Lance Lynn got a year in St. Louis. St. Louis is making some moves. Look at you. I like Lance Lynn. It's been a few years since he was with Texas, but when he was our, and nobody gave him the credit as being the ace, but he was our ace. He was really good. After he had his great season is when he got a bigger contract and left. And, we all work for a living, so I get it. Let's talk about some of the pitchers who are still available. Blake Snell, I think, is the big name that floats around. I don't know where he's going to end up, but I hope it's not in Texas. I don't get it. I don't get it. I do. Okay, so Clayton Kershaw, he's 36 years old. I think he's got another year. He's got another year. Somebody's going to give him a 1-year contract, maybe 2. I'm sure he's going to want like 3 or 4, but a 1 or 2-year contract. I would not mind him coming to Texas. So it seems like every year, every other year, they're talking about Texas getting Clayton Kershaw, who's from Dallas. So it would be like a homecoming for him. He's got to be right at the end. I mean, his arm's got to be screaming. So I think he's got 1 more year. You don't give him a Verlander contract. You don't give him a Scherzer contract. You sure don't give him a Jacob deGrom contract. But 1 year, 8-9 million. If you can get him for 9 million, I think you do it. I'd really like to have him in the rotation. It would make the Rangers really, really strong. That's another thing that we should talk about is how to improve your favorite team, and mine's the Rangers. And I think in the field, we're pretty solid. Pretty solid indeed. We got a lot of young and mixed with some veteran talent, which is a good combination to have. Fresh legs and still people who are smart in the game. We got some great coaches. On paper, our starting pitching is pretty solid. I worry about our relief pitching. I wouldn't mind a few more relief arms in the bullpen and a really solid closer. I know that's a lot to ask, but let's see who else is available. Zach Greinke is 40 years old. He hasn't retired yet, but I really thought he was going to. So maybe he wants another paycheck. I hope he doesn't end up here. He's a bit of a head case. Martin Perez. Oh man, I love Martin. I think he's going to get a huge deal after winning the World Series. He was really good. I don't know that Texas is going to pay him. So where would he end up? He might end up in like an Angels uniform. That wouldn't surprise me at all. Zach Greinke, I don't know. Like a Miami would give him money to come down there just so they can sell some jerseys. But I don't think he's going to help anybody out. In fact, last year, his ERA, from what I remember, was awful. He was just getting tore up. So, like I said, he should retire. And I don't blame him. Who wants to turn down that money? I don't think I could do it. Corey Kluber is another one. He actually was in Texas for a minute. He's 38. I don't know. He's another one I should probably retire. Sorry, buddy. Anybody else? Johnny Cueto, he's 38 too. Gosh, someone will give him another year or two. He'll probably end up in like I don't know. He'll end up at a Diamondback or something. Noah Syndergaard, 31, he still has some years left, but he is not what he used to be. The Mets are such a terrible organization. I wouldn't be surprised if they brought him back. Wade Miley got a year in Milwaukee. That's interesting. Jake Odorizzi's out there. He's 34. Somebody will pick Jake up. Who would pick Jake up? Tampa Bay would pick Jake up. So we'll guess them. Luis Cervino. Well, Mets. Okay. And interesting. Went to the Mets. Madison Bumgarner, free agent apparently. Yeah, somebody will pick him up too. He's only 33. Who would pick up a Mad Bum? Milwaukee would pick up a Mad Bum. Based on all the other pitchers St. Louis is picking up, that could be. Dallas Keuchel, he needs to retire. All right, relief pitchers, that's where we need to be. Craig Kimbrell's off the board. He went to Baltimore 1 year. Gosh, Baltimore's going to be tough next year. Do I want any of these guys on the Rangers? You know who I don't want on the Rangers? Aroldis Chapman. Like, I realize the guy can throw 105 miles an hour or whatever. He's got heat for days. but he's got some accuracy issues. He's going to get a giant contract. He's going to go to the Diamondbacks probably because they're going to be peeved. They're going to be like, oh, we're just one piece away from a ring. Chapman is not that piece. And I realized he was on the Rangers and he's going to get a ring. But you know what? Jacob deGrom's going to get a ring too. And remember, 30 innings, $30 million, and gets a ring. Oh, I'm chapped. I'm chapped about it. I don't. So I'm telling you, my thought after, oh my God, the Rangers won was, oh my God, deGrom's going to get a ring. Oh, it's ridiculous. So please don't come here. He'll go to Arizona or Phoenix. Will Smith is available. Oh no. There's a long list of relief pitchers and none that I like. Oh no. Wow. These are not the names you want to see. Matt Bush, he was okay sometimes. I don't know. All right, so nothing. All right, here's what the Rangers need to do to get better. They need to make some moves to get in some relief pitching, maybe through trades versus free agents, because this list isn't going to do it. Stay away from Aroldis Chapman at all costs. Why? Why'd you even bring him on? I know they brought him on. They're like, how do you put somebody out there and not pick him up when you're making a deep run and you know this guy can throw 104 miles an hour? It's easy. He didn't help. He doesn't help you at all. I mean, he's not the relief pitcher he was. There's a reason why people are like, stay away from him, is because he is toxic. And just, I feel bad for whoever ends up with them, and it'll be Arizona. Phoenix is going to get him. I know I keep saying Arizona. That's it. So the Rangers need to promote from within or trade, but not pick up free agents. That was fun. I enjoyed that. I know that 60% of the time I'm right every time. So I wouldn't take any of my predictions to the bank. I will say that most of my predictions for how this season was going to go this year, I got a lot of them right, but I got a lot of them wrong too. You just never know. It's the fun of the game. It's a great game. And I'm looking forward to spring training. I know we got time, but it's Texas. It feels like spring now. It's going to be 77 degrees today. Weird. Yeah, I hope you all have a wonderful time. Stop by and say hey to Clint. Actually, he was my shout out yesterday for our Advent. If you haven't seen our Advent, it's fun. You should check it out. We're having fun doing it. There's prizes. It's because this is the season of giving. I hope you are also giving, because it's more fun to give than to receive. Go hang out with Clint. Jump in on this VR challenge. Go Rangers, and talk to y'all later.